Hello there, this is Todd Sarwell. I'm the developer of EyeDock.com, and I wanted to show you a new feature I just added to the website. This is a refractive error simulator, and the goal is to be helpful for patient education when you're trying to describe the effects of myopia, hyperopia, astigmatism, presbyopia of the eyes. And also, I'm hoping that it has some utility for optometric education, whether it's optometry students or, people in your office who just need to have a better understanding of these concepts. So to add refractive error, you just use the slider, and going one way will add nearsightedness, going the other way will add farsightedness, and the cylinder, well, it just increased the value of cylinder as you move the little slider here. And if you work in plus cylinder, there's the option to do that too. And then regarding presbyopia, there is a age slider. So it starts off with 35 or younger, and then as you increase the age, it will have more presbyopic effects. To illustrate this, it'll show the available accommodation right next to the age. So this is one of those things where you can say, well, as we get older, our accommodation gets worse. So just a simple educational thing right there. Then, as far as the educational aspects of this, well, if I put this still back to 0, you can see that as I add more myopia, the light rays of the eyes get further and further in front of the retina to illustrate, why light isn't focused. And the image, as I change that back and forth, it'll get clearer with less myopia, blurrier with more myopia, as you would expect. If we go the other way, well, this is a young patient, keep in mind. So if I go towards hyperopia, at first it will just show where the light focuses if there is no accommodation. So as you can see, as I go more and more into the plus power, the light rays are focusing more and more behind the eyes. But when I release the slider, watch what happens. The lens gets bigger, light focuses, it pulls the focus towards the retina, and the image got clear. So I'll do that again. As I'm sliding, it's blurry, and when I let go, the eye will focus. And that's true because this is a young patient. Also note how when you add astigmatism, it will show the light rays focusing at different distances. Of course, astigmatism is a concept that people find confusing, so hopefully this will be helpful there too. The other thing you can do is show how correction will affect these optics issues. So in this case, I can say, what happens if my patient's wearing a full distance correction? And it'll show how that will make all the light focus on the back of the eye. And since this is a young patient, this patient is accommodating and can see close too. You can also add a computer prescription, a near prescription, near OTC, if that makes sense. And then there are also some contact lens options. But I think what I'll do now is go into some scenarios. So let's say you have a hyperopic patient who is becoming more presbyopic, and they're struggling to understand why they can't see like they used to. So you can dial in their hyperopic correction. In this case, there's a little bit of cylinder here too. And this person, let's say this person's getting into their second half of their 40s and says, why can't I see up close like I used to? And even far vision's not as clear as it once was. And you can explain this by, when you were 35, to see far away, you would accommodate or focus a little bit. And to see close, you would do that even more. And you could do this without a whole lot of effort, so you've never had to address it before. But as we age, now that you're in the second half of your 40s, we just can't accommodate like we once did. And, you're still seeing okay up close, and the close vision is even more difficult. And fortunately, as time goes on, let's say another 5 or 6 years go by, you're going to find that even the far vision will be a little bit blurry, and the close vision will get even more difficult, and you will need some help with that in the form of bifocal or reading glasses. Another scenario, I think this one comes up a lot that I always really want to make sure I explain really well. But let's say we have a person who is a little nearsighted, moderately nearsighted, and they're 35 years old right now, and they're interested in having LASIK. Well, you can say, well, with your current situation, you can't see far away because the light doesn't focus where it should. It focuses in front of your retina, and that causes blur. But without glasses, you can't see up close because you're nearsighted and that's where your eyes focus. When you are corrected for far vision, like you would be with glasses or laser surgery or contacts, uh, that dips light so you can see far away. And while you're young, all you have to do is focus to see close things, and that's why you can see well with your contacts. Um, if you have laser surgery, this will be true also. But as we age, when you get to be 50, your distance correction will make you see far away, but you'll have more trouble seeing up close. The nice thing about not having laser surgery is, well, if you just take off your contacts or take off your glasses, well, then you can be nearsighted again and see close. You just can't see far. So you can choose to be corrected for far or take off your glasses and see near. But if you have laser surgery, of course, you'll always be corrected for far, which means you won't see near unless you put on some reading glasses. So just be aware that if you have laser surgery, you'll be giving up far vision, at least when you're older. Another scenario would be a person who has, let's say they have um, their astigmatism increased, and they have a diopter and a quarter of astigmatism, and this person currently is wearing contact lenses, but they don't correct astigmatism. They're spherical contact lenses. You can say, well, your contacts are correcting your nearsightedness, which is correcting the majority of your vision and giving you pretty good vision, but it is not perfectly focusing light on your eyes. If we give you an astigmatism contact lens, theoretically, it would make light focus on the back of your eyes perfectly and theoretically give you the best vision. Of course, contacts can be limited and they can move a little bit. So if they rotate, then that could cause some blur. That could cause some blur that is variable. So that's the downside of a toric lens. But I think in the end, you'll just get a better quality of vision. Or one last scenario, if you have a patient who has more astigmatism, let's say they have 3 diopters of astigmatism, and this patient wants to wear a contact that, um, let's say they have an oblique axis and they want a daily disposable, and our options are more limited there, and the best contacts only go up to a 175. You can say, well, we'll get you a lens that will correct a lot of your astigmatism, but will leave some uncorrected. But oh, wait a minute, there's a new lens that grows up to a 2 1/4, so that'll correct more of the astigmatism, and that'll give you a little bit better quality of vision. Okay, well, once again, I've been rambling on quite a bit, so real quickly, let me just give you a couple other features. One, as you saw earlier, you can kind of zoom and unzoom these pictures. So if you're trying to look at where the light rays are and you can't see it, zooming in can be helpful. There's also a little information button that will give you just a little bit more information about the particular scenario that you're looking at that time. Uh, this defaults to seeing far, like 20 feet and beyond, and near, 40 centimeters, 16 inches or so. But you can also add room, like 7 to 8 feet away. So watching TV in a room, computer vision, even seeing something really close, like a needle. And that way, if somebody says, well, I can see really tiny stuff because I'm a, minus 550 diopter myope, you can demonstrate those sorts of things too. You can use these sliders to enter prescriptions, but one thing about iDoc is, well, there's a lot of things that we use prescriptions for, searching for contacts, doing RGP calculations, and things like that. So another thing you can do to get a prescription into the calculator is just do the old iDoc trick of finding a prescription in your EMR, copying that, going to the search box in iDoc, just putting all that text in there and saying search everything. And then you get the screen that says, do you want to find soft contacts? Do you want to do some calculations? And now I've added this refractive error simulator, and it will just populate it with your prescription. And I didn't show you this, but you can also look at the left eye. You can look at both eyes together. So you have those options. But just to keep things simple, I thought would make the default that you would just do one eye at a time. Just trying to make this interface as simple as possible because we're dealing with some fairly complex subjects. So I think I'll stop there and let you try it out. I hope you find this useful.